Hey makeup friends! Today we're going to be talking about the new Pearl palette from Wayne Goss and also taking a look at this set of 5 brushes from Units. Let's get into this. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you are new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Let's get straight into this, okay? So first up, let's quickly talk about this little brush set here. So this is the 200 series brush set. It retails for $41 Canadian on the Beautylish website. I had never heard of Units before. I mean, I guess I must have seen them in looking at their list of brands, but I've never heard anybody talk about them. So I didn't connect that they made brushes. So at any rate, I thought, why not give them a try? I'm in the market for some new brushes, so I picked this one up. So we're going to go through the brushes really quickly, and then you'll see them put to use when I show you how I created this eye look. The Unit 201 brush is a detail brush. It's a small detail brush for shading, blending eyeliner, and applying pigment to the corners of the eyes. Unit 202 is a flat shader brush. It's a flat eyeshadow brush for applying powder and cream shadows all over the eyelid. Unit 203 is the crease contour brush. It's a blending brush with the perfect density to blend, shade, and contour the crease. Unit 204 is a large, flat shader brush with an elongated shape for applying base color to the lid. And Unit 205 is a large crease contour brush with light, fluffy bristles for finishing your eye look. All right, let's talk about the palette. So this is the Luxury Eye Palette in Pearl. It retails for $77 Canadian on the Beautylish website, and for that you're getting 6 rather large pans of product. This has a total net weight of about 16 grams of product, and to give a little bit of context, the Dior Quints, which retail for about $72 Canadian, they come with 7 grams of product. So not only are you only getting 5 shades, but there's a lot less product in the palette in total. So I think you're getting really good value with these Wayne Goss palettes because of the size of the pans. Now, if I'm being perfectly candid, a few years ago, I probably would have just completely turned my nose up at this, called it boring, and moved on. That was a couple of years ago. Here we are now. And this is the kind of color story that I gravitate towards. I do have fun with color, and I really do enjoy playing with colorful makeup, but on a day-to-day basis when I'm getting ready for work, this is the kind of palette that I gravitate towards. And this is the kind of thing that just looks like it's going to be an easy palette to work with, at least in terms of the color story. Now, before I applied these shadows today, I did have a few concerns about this shade in particular because it is quite a bit cooler than the rest of the tones that are in here and quite a bit deeper. So I thought that it might be a little too jarring, but as we'll see when I go through the application, it blends out so nicely that it's just a really soft wash of color. You could build it up in its intensity, but suffice it to say, there's nothing in this palette that is jarring against any of the other shades. It's a really, really beautiful palette. I mean, strap in. We're going to go through the swatches, we're going to go through the application, and then I'm just going to blather on for ages about how much I love this palette because I've already filmed that portion, and I know it might get a little incoherent, but that's because I actually really love this palette. So why don't we just get straight into the swatches, and from there we will move on to the eye look. Shade 1 is a pink beige with a matte finish. Shade 2 is a pearl beige with a satin finish. Shade 3 is a soft pink with a matte finish. Shade 4 is a soft brown with a matte finish. Shade 5 is a taupe brown with a matte finish. And shade 6 is a sparkling peach with a shimmer finish. The description on the Beautylish site says the shimmer shade works best when patted onto the lid with your finger, and we recommend using these shadows dry only. I have used setting spray with the shimmer shadow in today's look, and I have had no issues with it. All right, swatches are done. But I did want to just interject here really quickly just to talk about my shipping experience from Beautylish. So I'm just looking at my emails here. I ordered this palette on Tuesday at about 2 p.m. And I see here that I got free shipping, and I did get expedited shipping. So when you go through Beautylish, if your order is over a certain amount, you qualify for either free shipping, or at a slightly higher price point, you qualify for free expedited shipping. Otherwise, the expedited shipping, I think, is about $10 more than the regular rate. So not a terrible price point considering I paid $20 for expedited shipping through BH for a $17 palette. Anyways, I got free shipping. Now, the nice thing about Beautylish is that they calculate all of the duties and customs fees for you. So I paid $15.34 duties and taxes, but it's nice that I paid it to Beautylish because now I'm not going to get like a FedEx bill a week and a half from now and have to pay additional. It's already taken care of. So I placed my order about 2 p.m. on Tuesday. At 1 p.m. on Wednesday, I got my shipping notice, and today is Thursday, and it was delivered around 11 o'clock this morning. So blazing fast shipping, and I've already paid the customs and duties, so I don't have to worry about it. I actually really enjoy the shipping experience from Beautylish. That was more for the benefit of my Canadian subscribers, but I did want to put that out there because I do get questions about shipping costs and all of that. All right, with that information out of the way, let's move into the eye look. Let's dip into this palette. I'm excited about this. I really am. Like this is my kind of shit right here. This color story, I love this. This is like an everyday, soft glam kind of palette. Here's hoping it translates onto the eyes nicely as well. So what am I gonna do? I am gonna go in and pick up, where is it? This matte pink shade here, and I'm going to use the Unit 205 brush, just a nice little fluffy blending brush. And I will use that to apply this one. Okay, I don't know if I've already mentioned, but I have my eyes primed with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Base in medium. I didn't set it with any powder, so it is just slightly tacky, but not like to the level of like a glitter glue, anything of that sort. Okay, let's go in with that pink matte shade and see how we get on. A little bit of creasing going on because I didn't set it with powder. All right. So definitely a light color, not much deeper than my skin tone. I'm going to want to build that up a little bit and see what kind of intensity we can get out of it. I will say though, it's not an overly powdery shadow. It's not kicking up in the pan. Second go round is doing much better. I can definitely see it showing up now. And frankly, I don't really mind that. Like if I have to build up a shadow, going over it a second time, I don't mind that. It's when you have to like continually pack the shadow on, and then sometimes like the shadow will just start moving across and like just follow the brush. It's not really like adhering to the skin. That's a problem. Having to go in a second time just to build up the intensity, that is not a problem at all. So I'm not upset by this in the least. And it's blending nicely, not seeing any patchy spots developing. I'm cool with that. All right. Next up, I'm going to go into this matte soft brown shade here, and I'm going to use the Unit 203 brush. It's just like slightly flatter, but still on the fluffy side. Like it's still a lot of mobility in the bristles, but a little bit less so than the first brush I used. It's a nice warm brown, so I find that it's really blending in nicely with that pink. Like you really can't see the differentiation between the two of them because it's just a nice little seamless blend there. That's not to say they're the same color, they're most definitely not, but just the undertones are matching so nicely that this is like the easiest blend I've ever had to do. Wow, okay, happy with that. Just for the lulz though, I'm going to try to build that shade up a little bit. Again, just to see like how intense we can make it. Just going to pack it on that outer portion. I actually like the shape of this brush, to be honest. Like I said, it's a little bit flatter, but I find that that's actually fitting nicely in my hooded eyes. We might have some winners here. Yeah, like, it's never going to be dark. It's not a dark shade, but again, I'm not seeing any patchiness, and this is like so easy to blend out. I'm really impressed with these matte shadows so far. You can always tell when I'm happy when I do like my little like shoulder dance. Just going to go back to that original brush. I haven't picked up any additional product, but I'm just going to blend the edges out a little bit more, just to really soften things up even more. This one looks kind of like a flat shader, but it's a little bit fluffier than that. There's two of them here. I'll show you side by side. So this is like your traditional flat shader brush, and then this one is just a little bit more, like see how these ones are a little bit more stiff? This one just is a little bit more on the blendy side. That's the technical term. So I'm going to use this one. This is the Unit 204, and I'm going to pick up the last of the matte shades here and run that under my lower lash line. I can't get over how nicely these matte shades blend. Well, it already just looks so soft and diffused. I'm happy. I love how that shade just gives enough definition to that lower lash line to help like just pull the look together, but it's not overwhelming because these shades are not all that deep. And I was a little concerned that this, like, because in the pan it looks so much darker, I was concerned that it was going to be too harsh of a contrast, but it's really not. And because it blends out so nicely, it's just so nice and soft. I think it just works so nicely. I'm excited. I'm so happy with this. I was kind of on the fence about this palette, to be honest. It does have a higher price point, so I was a little hesitant, but I'm so glad. And I haven't even touched arguably the star of the show over here. I haven't even touched that one yet, and I'm already so happy with this. Okay, yay. So let's go into this. I can't resist this anymore. Let's go into this gorgeous sparkly pink shade over here, and I am going to use that more flat, that's not it, this one here, the more flat shader brush, the number 202. So just going to run it across the top of the shadow. I can see already that it's picking up on the bristles, so this isn't one of those like shimmer shadows that just refuses to adhere. So I'm going to go in with it dry and just pat it into place here in the inner portion of my lid. See how it looks without any setting spray assisting it. I mean, it's soft, that's pretty, but I like it kicked up like 10 notches from there. So let's go ahead again and pick up some more product on the bristles. Okay, setting spray. Here we go, just a little spritzaroo. Again, technical terms, I'm full of them. And then again, I'm just gonna pat. Much better. Much better. And like I said, it was pretty before, but that's so much nicer. We've got a winner on our hands, folks. Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Yeah, this is like, I can already predict this is going to become a go-to palette for me, especially for work days. Because this, like, if I wasn't sitting here talking to a camera, like, this would have taken me just a few minutes just to get to this point. Like, this applies so nicely and so easily. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Okay, I'm going to go back with that second brush that I used with like a little bit, just a tiny little bit more of that soft brown shade, and just blend the edges of that shimmer shadow. Okay, and then inner corner, I'm going to go in, and this is just like a slightly less shimmery shade up here than this. This is like full on Sparkle City, and this one's just a little bit more muted, but definitely not matte. And I'm going to apply that into the inner corner. Oh, sorry, and I'm using the last of the brush set. This is the 201. I think I would have preferred this if it was just a little bit lighter. It'll work nicely all over the lid if I wanted to use that instead of that really intense shimmer one. But as an inner corner highlight, not loving it, to be perfectly honest. Just the tone of it. It's hard to really judge the shadow when you're just placing it on like a 1 millimeter square surface area, but I mean, it's applying nicely, that's fine. It's catching the light, I can see that in there. But I wish it was just a hair lighter. Okay, then finally I'm going to go back with that very first brush, the 205, and I'm going to pick up some of this cream matte shade over here and just use that to blend out underneath the eye and then the very edges of these other matte shadows up here. Just again to help soften everything out even more. All right, and there is the final look. So for my upper lashes, I lined them with this one here from Clinique. This is the Pretty Easy liner in brown. And then for my waterline, I have a pencil liner here from MAC. And this is one of their technical liners in the shade Risque, just a nice like nude kind of color. And then mascara is Bite Beauty Upswing Mascara. And on my lips, I have a gloss from Tower 28 in Cashew. So there we have it. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Like, simple and neutral doesn't have to be boring, and this palette proves that point. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, this is definitely one of those palettes that I can see myself reaching for work all the time. Like, this look is going to come together in like no time, and it's simplistic and yet impactful. It's beautiful. I feel put together. I feel polished. I feel pretty. Oh my God, I'm loving this. This like intense sparkle on the lid. Like it almost looks like my lids are wet. And yet it's not chunky. There's no like flecks of glitter on my face. Nothing has transferred down, not even the matte shadows. I'm so glad I got this. I'm so happy that I purchased this because this I don't even know, like, what is this? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm rendered speechless. It's a rare day when that happens, just ask my husband, but here we are. Hats off to you, Wayne Goss. This one is the best one yet. I dig this so much. Love it. Love it, love it. I mean, do we even need to do final thoughts? I mean, I think we're here. Here we are. Okay, let's sidetrack away from the palette for 1 second and talk about these brushes. First of all, it's a first impression, right? So I haven't washed them yet. I haven't seen how they hold up over time. If anything's going to start splaying, if anything's going to like lose bristles, fall apart, any of that, I don't know yet. I will keep you updated. If I have any issues with these, I will let you know for sure. But as of right now, there's no like random little bristles sticking out anywhere. They're cut really nicely. I really like the shape of them. In particular, this one here, the number 203. It's just precise enough to fit into my crease, which can be a little bit hard sometimes if the bristles are too wide. It just doesn't work because my eyes are so hooded, so I need something a bit more precise. But sometimes when it gets really precise, there's not enough flexibility in the bristles, so they don't blend nicely. This is a good like compromise between precision and still having that blendability. So I'm really liking this one. And like all of them, I think it's a great value. 5 brushes, $41 Canadian, and it comes with like this little thing. I don't know what to call it, like brush kit holder. What the hell do they call this thing? Fuck, I don't know. Anyways, this thing here. So if I did want to travel with them, I mean, you've got every eye brush that you would need for a basic look, so you could. But I'm really digging these. I like these a lot. The palette though, oh my goodness, this palette is an absolute winner for me. I'm in love with it. Absolutely in love with it. I don't anticipate any issues in terms of the longevity of the shades. I do have his other 2 palettes. I've never run into any issues with the shimmery shadows sort of transferring down onto my face over the course of the day or just like creasing and bunching up. I haven't had any issues with those, so I'm not expecting any issues with these. If I do experience any, I will put a pinned comment down below, but I'm really not anticipating any issues there whatsoever. Like I said, the one that I used for the inner corner, I do wish it was a little bit lighter, just so there was a bit more contrast, but that's just a personal opinion. I'll leave it out there as it is. In terms of the actual quality of that shadow, I have no issues. Again, I just put it on inner corner, so it's not like I was really blending it anywhere, really packing it onto the lid, but I mean, I can see it catching the light. Again, it's not a chunky, glittery kind of shade. It's really smooth, really pretty. I'm just stoked about this look and this palette. I'm very, very happy with it. Listen, it's the small things in life, right? A nice, functional palette that puts together a beautiful look in basically no time. That's a winner for me. That's a winner, winner chicken dinner. Honestly, this is the kind of look that I could see myself wearing multiple days a week to the office. Like, no problem. And yet, having said that, like, this is still a beautiful, like, date night look. Or like fucking going to the groceries. Like this is an all-purpose kind of look, and I think it's just effortlessly beautiful, shall we say? When I'm pressed for time in the morning, this is the kind of palette that I want. I want something where I'm not going to have to really work at getting it to apply to the eyes. I'm not going to have to sit and blend forever and build up layers to get intensity. I just want to be able to like dip my brush in, put it on the eyes, and away we go. This palette, you can do that with, and I'm very, very happy with that. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down, so I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.